Hey, this is Eric over at TechnoRV, and this is my Forest River Rockwood Mini Lite, and I'm about to give it a little upgrade. So these twist lock plugs, I'm not crazy about them, and I like to replace them with the smart plug because I get better electrical transfer from the pedestal to the RV. It's less heat on the plug with these units, which is always a positive. And in addition, instead of this twist lock style that can be cumbersome at times, just trying to get it lined up and everything, this is just basically a plug in and snap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the inlet with this, and instead of replacing the plug head on my existing cable, I am going to just use the smart plug cable that already has the smart plug head attached to it. So let's go ahead and start the install. Of course, the first thing you want to do is, you got to be unplugged from power. Do whatever you got to do to make sure there's no stray voltage. I have a Southwire non-contact voltage tester. So I'm just going to be testing throughout the process just to make sure there is no voltage on the line anywhere. Shouldn't be, but a nice handy tool there. So the next thing is there's just 4 screws here, so we're going to take that out. Got that out. Now let's have a look behind here. And basically, the process can vary a little bit. For different models, you may just see different things back here. I mean, basically at the end of the day, it's all wires coming up to the back of your inlet, but how you disassemble it from here could vary, but this looks pretty straightforward here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I've got some screws in here that I need to take out. And I've got 2 screws back here that need to come out. Okay, now that this is off, what I can do is I can go ahead and loosen the wires up from the back of the plug head here, and then this is going to allow me to then take this casing off. So I'm going to, again, we know there's not power here, right? But it's always a good idea just to go ahead and have one of these because it just doesn't take any time to test that. And I'm going to need a small flathead. So then that comes off, and then of course your casing and your gasket can come off there. So at this point, you just want to inspect the wiring and make sure it's good and clean and not corroded. If it is, you need to clean it up. This one's new, so it looks great. But again, if it didn't, I may even consider cutting this off and stripping me out some new wire here. In this case, it's not necessary. So now it's time to install the smart plug onto the wire here. So when you open this, on the back of here, there's like a little strain relief. You can go ahead and take that off. And I don't think in this case we're even going to need to use the strain relief. And then as you can see, everything is sort of color coded here You've got your little black ring here and your white ring here, and then the green for your ground. And so I'm just going to make sure that my black wire goes here, my white wire goes here, and then my ground down at the bottom. Be sure to read the instructions to make sure that you're clear on all this as you're going through it. And you want to make sure you get it right the first time. All right, so one thing that I had checked before I started is the hole pattern in most cases is going to be exactly the same. And so one good way to do that is you can take this piece off of the back of the smart plug and just kind of run it over the wire here and just look and make sure that these 4 holes here in this gasket line up. And of course I already knew that it did. If not, you may have to drill some holes, but in most cases you won't have to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the 3M tape off the back of this gasket and go ahead and put it on more permanently onto my smart plug. And this will serve as my gasket here. So just want to put this over, make sure the holes line up. Perfect. Okay, so again, we're to the point to where we're installing the wires, and the kit comes with this tool here to tighten and loosen the screws on the side. And so it's time to do that. So it's time to get the wires in here. Again, very important. Follow the instructions. Make sure you follow the color coding. Make sure that you're very comfortable with, you know, obviously the black goes to black, the white goes to white, and then your ground wire is going to go to green. Now, these wires can be a bit hard to sort of maneuver and bend. And so instead of just putting one in there and cranking down on it and then trying to get the other one, it really makes it difficult that way. So it's better to go ahead and spend a little bit of time right now to go ahead and line these up to where you can just slide all 3 of them in at the same time. And everything can't be easy, right? So it's just part of the installation process to try and get all of these lined up to where they all just slide in at the same time. And if you do it this way, you're going to be happy you did. So my white one still needs to come in just a hair. There we go. Okay. Now we're doing good. So I'm going to get, that comes with the kit from Smart Plug. So you're just going to crank down here to make sure you get a good tight connection. I'm going to roll over here to my neutral. Tighten that down. And then my ground wire. There we go. All right, so they're all in. We're almost done here because really all that's left, oh, the strain relief. Look at your installation and see if, it's not required on all installations, and I'm not going to use it on this one, but if you have a scenario where you kind of go in and it makes a sharp turn in here, with the wiring here, then sometimes you may consider using that strain relief if you feel like you're getting a lot of tugging on the wires. In this case, it's not. So really all it is now is just pushing this back up in here. It already looks good. And then lining up the holes, and I'm going to use the same screws that that I used, or that came with the RV here. So again, a part of the process that you just got to take your time and I didn't use my own tip there, so a lot of times it's easier just to let this thing come back a little bit and see what you're line it up with the hole, and certainly don't crank down on one screw before you get them all lined up. That would not work good. This is a easy install. We're almost done. I'm gonna get in front of the camera here for a second for this last one. And then let's just bring them all in together. And that gasket on the back will seal it up. Keep it nice and dry. Getting close here. It's looking good. I use that drill taking these out, but I don't recommend using a drill putting them back in. I like hand tightening them. Smart plug inlet is installed. That is a great upgrade, and in addition for this, I can replace the plug head on my existing cord. Hand me that real quick. If I wanted to. So this is my existing plug head. Obviously that's not going to work with the smart plug now. So you can get a kit where you cut this off and just replace it with a smart plug head. Or you can just buy a new cable, which is what I did. And so the end of the cable that plugs into the pedestal right here, that has not changed, okay? So there's no concern on that end. The plug head that has changed is this end right here. And so I want to show you how easy this is once you, it's even got a little plug cover. It's nice. Remember all that twist lock plug business of trying to get that on there? Watch this. Now, when you go to plug in, done. It's just like that, and it's super tight, super secure. Again, your pins here have much more surface area than what I just replaced it with, so I'm going to get better electrical transfer, again, better heat on the plug. That is my upgrade today for my Rockwood Mini Lite, and that is how you install the inlet on this unit and really any other unit. If you do want to replace the plug head, I do have another install video where I install an inlet and I replace the plug head, so you can go check that out as well. And you can get all of this smart plug product at technorv.com. You can just go place your order there and we'll send it right out to you.